Hi everyone, this is Rohit from Lifestyle Mastery, and I'm excited to have Mohamad Khachab, who's the Senior Vice President at BMB Group. Mohammed received his Bachelor of Engineering degree from BAU and his Executive Master of Business Administration from Hult International Business School. Welcome to the show, Mohammed.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. So, you do have a very interesting journey. We had an interesting discussion before the call. But I'm quite intrigued to know about your journey. So, as you moved from Lebanon to Dubai, what got you move from your country, and how did you get into this crazy world of startups?
Yeah. Look, Lebanon is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the country. It's a great place to live and it's a great place to be there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, what happened, the situation, within the past, like I say, 20 years, the situation is becoming really bad, and the economic situation is not the best there. So always when you graduate from universities, you need better opportunities. And for me, Dubai was always attractive for me because I feel it looks the same. It shares the same values. It's a cosmopolitan city, and it's one of the top cities in the region here. Plus, I had a lot of friends who moved here who they were successful. They've done an amazing job. So this is why I thought like, okay, if I graduated, the situation is not the best. So where's the best place to go? It was Dubai. This is how it started, So, and then I came here, and I think it was the right choice.
Right. But did you have like any visa issues, or what were some of the first jobs you did before
Yeah.
you met
No,
BNB?
Dubai is a very easy to access. They've
Nice.
made it very easy. They want people to come, and especially people who can add value. If you
Right.
have a certain like expertise or a certain things that they really want, they will attract you to come here. But honestly, anyone I think who wants to come here, it's a very easy visa to get.
Correct, correct. And how did you think about building like a snack company, BMP? What led you to do that?
So when I moved to Dubai, so I'm an engineering graduate, as you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
when I moved to Dubai, I moved as an employee in Motorola as an engineer.
Oh,
And
interesting.
yeah, so that was my first job in Dubai. And for me, always what I want is I want to be an entrepreneur. At the beginning, the motivation is I want to be my own boss.
Yeah,
This is what I wanted to do. And it was like, okay, let me find anything, but like I don't want to be an employee because I didn't find myself in the next few years just being employed and growing within a company as an employee. And I had my cousin who was born and raised in Dubai. We were very close since we were born, and he founded the company before me in 2007, and we were always talking together, about what he's doing, what I'm doing. And then after 2 years, we were discussing. He was just told me, "Why don't you join the business?" And for me, it's like it was no brainer. Yes, let's do it. Let's expand it. So we'll join forces and expand the business. And this is where it started. I joined the business, and then I opened new channels, and this is where we started to grow up the business. And for us at the beginning, it was very humble beginnings, but
right.
we had always a dream, of creating jobs, of helping people. So the aim at the beginning, it wasn't honestly making the money.
Hmm.
It was always making a like jobs. We were happy when we were recruiting, every new employee. Okay, now this is a new job. This is a new people coming. This is how it started, and fortunately, through the years, it worked well with us.
Correct. And especially, you interestingly pointed about distribution, and before the call I talked about OYO rooms, where this was a hotel marketplace. And very interestingly, we had 20 different distribution channels. And I speak with a lot of founders, and they're very focused on product, but they don't understand distribution. What advice would you give to
Right.
listeners
No,
who
very,
would
very,
want to
very
build
good
those?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good question. I always get God help founders. They want to be innovators. They want to be manufacturers. They want to be marketeers, finance Guys, it's not easy. The
Yeah.
fortunate thing about our business, like me and my co-founder, we had a two different skill set, and we
Mhm.
were complementing each other. Where he
Nice.
stops where I start, and I start where he stops. So this is how we used to do it. So he was handling the, let's say, the supply chain part of the business. I was handling the front end, the commercial part of the business.
Nice.
And I always tell founders, like, you need to make sure from the beginning you're focused on what you want.
Right.
So if you want to build a brand, maybe you can find a third-party logistic partners or distributors who can distribute your products, and then you can focus on manufacturing, innovation, and leave others to do, like, things that you are not really good at. Or you can do the other part. If you're a business you are in distribution business, then you focus on distribution. But I always tell founders that you really need to make sure that you focus on the top one or two things that you're good at. And this is where you give it your best. Otherwise, it's going to be so complicated to do all these things together.
Got it. Got it. So you focus more on distribution, and was it distribution only in
Yeah,
Middle East? Are
like
you focused on?
because yeah, for us, honestly, because we had this skill set as co-founders, and so my skill set was distribution and marketing and
Right.
commercial, and my business partner was manufacturing. So what we've done is we combined this skill set. So he is focusing on the manufacturing and innovation and creating the product. I
Right.
take the product and put it in the market. So what I think is what you need to do to make sure, if you want to do all these things together, you need to have the right skill set.
Yeah.
But what I always say, if you're good at one, then it's enough. But
Yeah.
like if you have the right skill, if you have the right team within your company, then you can do all this together. Fortunately, we had this expertise within the company, and we've done it all together. So from like manufacturing to distribution. But in some places, because we were in more than 30 countries, so
Well.
let's say in the Gulf, in the UAE, Saudi, our region, which we are focused on, we were doing direct distribution. US, it's a huge market for us. We were doing direct distribution. But in other markets, which was far away from us, we were doing it through third parties, through partners. So we have chosen our battles. We took the biggest markets, we did it ourselves, and then other markets, we gave it to partners or third parties, distributors.
Got it. And congratulations on all the success. You sold a company for $200 million to Abu Dhabi Fund. What was the experience all about? And was that your goal to take a brand and then sell and exit out?
No, thank you so much. And as I told you at the beginning, the aim wasn't the money.
Right.
The aim is to make something successful, to make something big, to create jobs, to give back to the community. That was the aim. And I'll always say this: the money should not be the aim. Money comes as a result, of
Nice.
hard work,
Right.
right? So, and from the beginning, we didn't want to give this business to the kids or to the family.
Right.
And we always wanted to build something successful. And we had two choices: either to find a strategic partner to come and take it to the next level, or to take this into IPO. Fortunately, we found the best partner in the region. Like UAE, as I told you, like, it's disrupting the whole region and maybe on a global level. And the fund that we were acquired by, it's ADQ, and they own majority of a company called Agdia. Agdia means food. Agdia was founded by His Highness Sheikh Zayed. He was the founder of the UAE in the early 70s, and the aim was the food security of the UAE. And the people running this funds are really like people on another level.
Yeah.
So this is what we wanted from the beginning, to find someone like this level to come and take this company from what we've done into 100 times. So,
Mhm.
and to keep this legacy, and after 10 years to see that this company has done 100 times what we've done. So from day one, we had this in our heads. And fortunately, we found the right partner to take over this business and to take it hopefully into the next level.
Got it. Interesting. And before the call, we talked about Dubai ecosystem versus I spent quite a bit of a time in India as well as in the UK. But I'm quite interested to know about the UAE startup ecosystem as well in Saudi Arabia. I think some really interesting things are happening. Obviously, I've not experienced it, but there are a lot of Indians and a lot of international expats over there who are looking to expand.
Right.
Well, what are your views about Dubai and where is it going?
Right. Let me tell you something funny. Like wherever I travel, like when you say where are you from
Yeah,
and say Dubai, the first thing is wow. Like
yeah,
I think the whole world is talking about Dubai now
true.
and the UAE, so everyone is talking about it. The nice thing about the ecosystem here, it supports entrepreneurs, it supports you if you have an idea. The ecosystem is really easy, and it helps people to start an idea and make it successful. Plus the platform, Dubai is a nice platform. If you have a product, you can take it all over the world because I have 40 nationalities in the company, that
Well,
I found. So imagine you speak the language already, like for me is like I sell my product from Southeast Asia to North America. I speak the whole languages. It's so easy for me to connect with Chinese, with Russians, with Americans, with Middle Easterns, with Europeans, with Africans. It's easy for me because we're part of this. So this is Dubai.
right.
That's the first thing. Plus the leadership here, and they really focus on making people happy and successful. So if you come here, in terms of the tax system, it supports entrepreneurs, it supports people who wants to come and stay here. As you said from the beginning, the visa, and it's also easy. And they created something called the golden visa as well, which this
Yeah,
is why you can see a lot of people from the region. They want to move here. You buy a property, you get a golden visa. It makes it easy for you to settle down and to open your business and start your own things. And the route. So you have the airport, you have all the logistics, you have the port, and it's easy access anywhere. So you can ship your product anywhere in the world.
yeah,
We are a hub, here. So this is why I think a lot of India as well. It's an hour flight, from
yeah,
here. And as you know, like Indians are one of the most successful entrepreneurs, and Dubai, I think it's a hub for them because coming here, getting a visa and if like creating a company and taking it all over the globe, it's easy to make. And the rules, the system, it's easy. It supports you to make it. It
yeah,
helps you. In my company, I had 1,200 employees. It was
oh,
so easy, to access skill sets and to access, the people that you really need. Because any entrepreneur, I think the worst thing you find in any entrepreneur, like they will tell, the worst thing is finding the right people, the right talents, right?
yeah,
So we have this here,
nice.
and this is why I feel the ecosystem it supports, it helps
Yeah,
people who wants to come and make something for themselves.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
this is why I think people are coming here.
Got it,
Plus,
got it.
an amazing place to live.
Yeah,
Like there is like, and if you have family, if you have kids, if you are single, like there is a lot of stuff to do here.
yeah,
So and it's safe as well.
true, true.
I think also it's amazing to live in a place which you have a lot of opportunities, and it's an amazing place to live, and it's safe.
Yeah. And
So
it's warm as well for listeners from UK because UK can be very cold and rainy, but Dubai is warm.
right. So
Yeah,
100%,
yeah,
100%. And we have a great weather
yeah,
here. Yes, the summer is a bit like warm,
yeah,
but like you enjoy it, right? And you
yeah,
you can see people by the beach and
yeah,
and and yeah.
yeah. Awesome. You just recently left a BMB, and what's next for Mohammed? You talked about giving back and helping founders. Just wanted to understand what's
Right.
next for you for the next 10 years.
Yeah. So yeah, like recently closed the chapter of BMB, and I'm sure Agbia will take this into another level. I always had something inside me that I want to make a big impact,
Right.
and the impact I want to do it globally. It's not on a small community. And what I want to do today is I don't want to go and create a new company and manage it and operate it. I want to help entrepreneurs and founders to help them scale their ideas. So I'm an angel investor. As I like you are an angel investor. So
Yeah.
I belong to this like part, and I always invest in in certain kind of VCs, which is more interested in emerging markets. But what I want to do now is I have an aim is to help founders and entrepreneurs who are starting up, who has an idea or started up a company, to help them scale up their business
Okay.
through advising them and through investing in them. So,
Okay.
and so I don't want to invest in something that I don't add value to
Yeah.
anymore. So what I want to do is I want to invest with entrepreneurs who has a great ideas that I can help them to scale up their business
Got
and
it.
their
And
idea.
yeah, so are you looking to raise your own fund? Is that the next step now?
That's right. That's right. So
Okay.
it's not like, yeah, I want to use my own funds to invest in people. That's right. And I already started this, by the way. So I have a few businesses that I already started. One of them is if you want, I can give an example, a quick
Right.
example
Yeah,
about my
absolutely.
brother. My brother, he's a GI. He is an endoscopist, physician. He's one
Nice.
of the top endoscopists in the world. You know, he's
Wow.
in Johns Hopkins. Yeah, and he co-founded three companies like now, three medical devices trying to do. One of them is a drug that is curing a disease that caused our mom's death. You know,
Oh,
and
okay.
that gave me a big inspiration. Like, okay, this is the impact I want to do, right? So
Mm.
you can make a big impact, you can save people's life, and you can make money as well,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's amazing. So what I've done is I've helped him and backed him up now to start up a company which is doing a medical device which is going to disrupt the obesity
Okay.
part, you know. So I backed him up from the beginning. He is an amazing physician, so he just wants someone to back him up by like an entrepreneurial mindset, like, you know, can help him up, set the company, commercialize the product. So which is I'm good at. And I have a global connections as well, a global connections to investors, to VCs. Me myself, I can help them as well at the beginning to invest in the company. So this is how I started. So I'm like, let's say I'm the chairman of the company. We're forming. We hired a CEO, and
Nice.
now we're having the product ready, and we're starting commercializing it. So this is one of the things that I started to do now.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. And Mohammed, you talked about how you grew your company to 1,200 employees, uh, and I've been part of few high growth startups, but it's always very messy when you're looking to scale up. What advice you would give to founders, and what lessons you've learned from scaling from just 2 employees to 1,200 employees?
Yeah, that will always be the most painful thing any founder will
Yeah.
face, you know. And there's if you're a founder, you will not find someone like you. That's it. Like you have to
Mm.
accept that you are the most one who cares about your business.
Mm.
That's a fact, you know, that you cannot change. But finding really the right skill set is the most important thing. And for me, it was so painful. And there's only one way to find it: trial and error. You have
Yeah.
to try, you have to believe, you have to trust, you have to give empower people, and then either they, like, you know, screw it up, or they really make it happen. And for me, over the years, I've done this, and I have ended up with an amazing team where I exited the business, and these guys are managing the company.
Oh.
So yeah, so it was always trial and error, always, until we ended up with the right team. It took us 15 years to do that. It's not
Oh.
easy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And earlier you talked about how you're responsible for distribution and marketing. When somebody is looking to build their own marketing team, when should or growth for that matter. So what is growth when it comes to a D2C brand, and what do people misunderstand most about growth?
Yeah, look, I always say distribution is the most important thing. So before you think about like throwing money in marketing and advertisements, and make sure your product is everywhere. So for
Right,
example, if you're someone who has a product in the US, go put your product. If you do to market is retail, go put it in Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, Kroger, all Target, all these guys.
right,
Put it there, and then once it's on the shelf, go and spend some money on marketing and advertisement. But first thing is distribution. Make sure if you have the right, make sure you have the right product, and make sure you have the right pricing, and then go and try to make sure you spend some money in putting the product and participating in shows and food shows, or in shows that is related to your business. Put the product on the shelf, then think about advertisements and marketing. This is my advice to everyone. Make sure, because you have to be wise, because you can spend all your money and then you do nothing. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Marketing is like, it can screw you up. You can just like burn all your money, and then you leave yourself with nothing to do for distribution. So my advice always is distribution, route to market. Just put the product on the shelf, and
Right.
then think about marketing and advertisements.
Correct. And you made an interesting point about marketplaces. Do you think most, like, I've seen out in India, like most of the D2C brands, I would say 90 to 95% of the revenues are coming from marketplaces like Amazon and the Flipkarts. Do you think, when do you think, a retail brand should think about, creating their own distribution channel, rather than, just being there on marketplaces? Because there's always a risk that, their, uh, the products could go out of those
Yeah,
marketplaces.
yeah.
What are you?
Look, you have to do both, I think.
Yeah,
Like you have to be on Amazon. If you're not on Amazon, like
yeah,
you lose a big portion of the business,
right.
and all the other third parties, so which are really, they have a big market share because they spend all their money on marketing, so
Yeah,
and so you have to be there, but also you have to have your own marketplace, and you have to always direct your consumer into your marketplace, so even if, and like also you put your products on physical retail as well, but always your aim is your own marketplace, you
mm,
know and your marketplace can grow while you're having product somewhere else, but you do more promotions on your own platform, you do more activities on your own platform, but you have to be everywhere. And as I told you, distribution is not only in physical retail, also in marketplaces. You have to be everywhere.
yeah,
You have to
yeah,
put your product everywhere, even if you lose some margins while like selling it on other platforms. But this will empower your brand, and you have to be like, you cannot only sell on your own platform, but will empower you. You will make more money on your platform when you bring more people, when they know your product, when they try it, and then when they will become loyal customers, they will be more than happy to come and buy from your own platform.
got it, got it. Interesting. And especially when it comes to, hiring the right marketing person or the right growth hire, should it be like a junior person or a senior person? If you're just starting up, I know it's been, a couple of years for you, but somebody who's just starting up, should they hire somebody who's very senior, or
Yeah.
junior, to
Very
whom
good
they can?
question.
Yeah.
Very good question. Like 7 or 8 years ago, before 7 or 8 years before I exit the business, and we hired someone who is coming from a multinational, like one of the best companies, in the food. And a lady, we hired her. She came in. We thought that she's gonna take us into a different level. It didn't work,
Right.
because maybe when big how the way big brands think is different from a startup, or a product that no one knows. And
Yeah.
definitely, you need a new blood. You need people who are fresh, but they also understand how to boost, how to reach, but like you always need a new blood, plus you need experiences. But at the beginning, maybe as well, if you can do it, if you go to a third party, you learn at the beginning, because maybe if you're not good at marketing and you bring someone who is also not that amazing, they will screw you up. So maybe you can have a third party managing your business at the beginning in terms of marketing. You learn it, and then you can hire people to manage that third party, and then you take it in house. This is what I did. Personally, I give it into a third party. I spent more money there, but I've learned it the right way. Then I hired someone to manage them. Then they came in, and I had a full in-house team to manage the marketing. So it's a step by step. You cannot do marketing. You cannot go crazy in marketing from the beginning.
Right. Right. Got it.
Because like you can throw as much money as you want, and then there is no return, right? So as I told you, I was focusing more on having my product everywhere. Like if you have a brand, it has to be everywhere. Everyone has to see it.
Got it.
Then it's easier for the consumer to understand your brand. Then you can talk more about the brand awareness. What's your brand? What's your message? What do you want to talk to the world? And this will not need someone who is very senior. To be honest, you need someone who's passionate
Yeah.
about the brand to take it into the next level.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. And especially when it comes to fundraising, any insights for you on, when should they look at fundraising,
Yeah.
especially in a
So
consumer brand?
yeah, we were honestly fortunate that we were self-funded, from the
Wow.
beginning. We've never raised money. And that's the nice thing. So we were never diluted, and we
Oh,
had the chance to do it ourselves. But that was a lot of work. We really
yeah,
worked so hard, and our business was a big portion of our business was a B2B business. This is why we had the cash flow coming in. So
nice.
we really didn't need the money, you know. But always investors wants to see ideas. I'm an investor. If you tell me if you
Mm,
want to invest in a company, I
right.
want to make sure first thing, like I want to invest in the right people.
Yeah,
Like, when I'm investing in my brother, not because he's my brother, he's been my brother since 40 years, right? So,
yeah,
but he is a top notch in his industry, and he knows what he's doing. He's a key opinionated leader. In anyone who wants to create a device, they have to come to him, they have to ask him, and he's genius in what he does, So this is the kind of people I want to invest in. If I want to invest, I'm looking now into a company that they have an e-commerce platform. These guys has to be the best,
right.
So whatever I do is like, the founders has to be really smart people that when I talk to them, I feel these people, they know what they do.
True.
That's number one. So investors, we need to know that the founder, he understand, the problem, understand the situation that he's trying to solve, and the route, like, okay, so what are you gonna do? They want to see traction. They want to see people. They understand how they're moving, their company. So if you have this, I think it's not hard. It's not easy, but it's not hard to raise money. But at the beginning, you need to have the right product, the right idea, the right traction before you think about raising money.
Right. Right.
Because there is a lot of people trying to raise money, but it doesn't make sense sometimes if you're raising it maybe too early, or if the idea is too niche. So you need to make sure that you are willing to put your own money inside the business before asking someone, to come and put money in your business.
Got it. Got it. Interesting. And you worked on the business for 15 years. What's been your biggest aha moment? Behind BMB Group's success.
Look, you asked me a question, like, before we started, before I go to the, like, to really that point, at the beginning, you will face a lot of challenges. You will always see that today I'm going to shut down the company. I'm broken, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen, So what you need to make sure at the beginning is like, you should not be sensitive,
Yeah.
and you should not take things personally, right? So you will find some investors who will destroy you. They will tell you
Mm,
your idea is like, it doesn't work. You will find some customers who doesn't want to buy your product. You find a buyer who will kick you out. Maybe with your partner, like, you're gonna have a lot of issues. It's a lot of stuff that can happen. You need to make sure as a founder you're not sensitive,
yeah.
and you need to, because even in our personal lives, like, after a certain age, you become mature that things doesn't affect you the same way when you're younger. You
True.
have to be mature from day one, and you have to be conscious about that. So don't be sensitive about anything. It's not personal. You have to understand that this is not personal. If it is not personal, you always be motivated to make it happen. But like, the point that we really have reached, a place that I said, like, wow, when I started to meet entrepreneurs who had small businesses, and through my businesses, I helped them to scale it up 100 times. So this is where first time, second time, third time, I said, like, wow, like, I'm really making a change, not only within my company, within the industry itself. So I'm helping people to grow their businesses, and they are recruiting more people. So it's like, it's a multiplier effect, it's a ripple effect. So at that point, this is where I felt like, I'm really excited, I'm really happy with what I'm doing, because it's not only I'm scaling my business, it's like I'm helping other brands to scale up their business. Because as I told you, a big portion is we do B2B
Yeah.
businesses, and we were helping those brands to scale up immediately, with our power of manufacturing, our cost, and our distribution as well. So this is where, like, I think after like 7-8 years
Yeah.
of running the business, where it felt like, wow, this is something really making a big difference.
Kind of interesting. And yeah, I want to talk about hiring. Since you've hired some really A quality players, what are some of the three key traits that you look at when you picking the best talent in your company?
Yeah. Look, I'll tell you something funny. the top commercial guy in my company, he used to be an HR guy, for example.
Oh,
So he
okay.
moved from HR to commercial, and he's now leading the company. You know what? I'm exiting.
Wow.
Another guy who were a finance guy, and then he moved into marketing. So, and a lot of people now who are like executives in the business who has been 12 years in the business, they were fresh graduates. So what I've learned during the years is you need to bring people who are really hungry, who wants
Yeah.
to make it with you, you know, because you're the founder, you're the entrepreneur, you know, like you're the engine. But these people, if they are not hungry, if they don't want to make it big, if they just want to come for a job, it's not going to work. So even if you hire the most talented person in the world, you know, I have done this, you know, I have brought people who are much more talented than what I like used to hire. And all these people, they came in and they left. It didn't work
Mm.
because they came in as a 8 to 5 mindset, for example, employees like typical mindset, a culture that they want to make it more like you know, like in any company, you have all this things happening, you know, like under the table, like, you know, they don't want the people are like messing up with each other, you know, all this politics that happen in the company. So
Mm.
when you hire talented people coming from big corporations or having 20, 30 years of experience, they will come with this mentality that will kill a startup who wants to grow their business, because
Mm.
they're coming from a business, it's a multinational or a big businesses, which is growing 2-3% every year. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. Your business is growing 70-80% year over year. Their mindset is used to this 3-4%. So without you noticing, they will take you there. You know, so what you want is people who are really motivated, who are smart, who can really adapt and learn quickly, and
Yeah.
they can take your product and your company into the next level. This is what I've done. But it comes with a lot of suffering because I had to mentor, I had to put a lot of hours, you know, into the businesses, into mentoring them. It's a lot of pain, to be honest. It's a lot of pain. But that pain was much easier for me than bringing someone who is taking my company into another direction and screwing it up. So this is a pain that will always be with founders until you know the world ends.
Mm.
But founders has to be so smart with the way they find the people. So it's a mix between a skill set. So yes, you need a great skilled finance guy,
Yeah.
but you don't need to have the best commercial guy who's coming from the best company in the world. No, you can bring someone who is hungry, who is really motivated like you or even more.
Yeah.
And then you just give him the tools to take your business and product into the next level. So front end people, you need to find the characters, you know, you need to find. So for me, it's like commercial guys, marketeers, you know, they're the front end of the business, right? They meet buyers, they meet suppliers, you know, like so these guys has to be representing you. So you need to make sure these guys have the personality, the right personality. And then when with other skill sets like other departments like finance, like for example, or HR, yes, you need people who are really talented. So
Mm.
it depends on who are you hiring, but you always, as I told you from the beginning, it's unfortunately it's a trial and error. You
Yeah.
can hire someone who is like coming from the best university in the world with the 3 PhDs, you know, and they have, you know, on theory, on paper and pen, they are the best people in the world. You know, when they come into practice, they screw it up. And you can bring someone who is not even, he didn't even go to they went to a humble university, and they can come and make a big change. So you
Mm.
have to try, but you have to bring people who are really passionate and people who has values.
Right.
Values is very important, you know, because if you're so passionate and you have values, you kill it. You know, it's
Yeah.
the best thing you can find in people. But even if you're hungry and you don't have values as well, which is rare to find, it's rare
Yeah.
to find people with values. They screw you up. They screw your
Mm.
business. They
Yeah.
don't care. You're putting all your life, all your money, everything inside the business. And if someone comes with no values, it doesn't work. So for me, passion and values was always
Yeah.
what is like motivating me to hire people. That was always the case, and it worked. You know, I
Right.
have all my team now that are managing the company. I'm proudly managing the company that I have really built over 15 years. They're doing it, and it's really working well.
Right. Interesting. You mentioned about values. Uh, is it One is, how do you build that sort of culture when you are at 1,200 employees, and how do you, talk about those values every day so that, even in those bad weeks or months, they understand the values and, they keep the culture alive.
Right. Look, it comes from the leadership, like
Yeah.
any company, if you want to see the culture, look at the leaders because
Yeah.
like it's a ripple effect, right? It starts from top to bottom,
Yeah.
right? So what you need to do is you need to have the right leaders. Like, let me give an example on myself. If I am leader of the company and if I don't allow politics, if I don't allow people to play dirty with each
Yeah.
other, people are not going to do that.
Yeah.
So if you don't entertain people, like, okay, if I have a better relationship with you, then you have a better position in the company, or you have to play it that way to get something else, it doesn't work. So for me, it doesn't work. It's up to
Yeah.
you. If you want
Right.
to tell me, hi sir, how are you, good morning, it's up to you.
Right.
Like, it's up to you. I don't care. This is not going to help you.
Right.
So what you need to do is, culture reflects top management, the leadership, it reflects them. So if you want to see the right culture, look at the leaders.
Right.
It's all start with the leaders, and for me, culture, it's a continuous work. You need to always work on it. You need to always remind people about it. You need to make sure also leaders within the company, they always talk about it. And even when you join leaders, so we always had a booklet in our company. Anyone who joins the company, first thing you need to do is to read this booklet. Why? Because you have to understand our values, our culture, before you come into the company and screw everything we've built.
Right.
So what we want to make sure, everyone who comes in from recruiters, our recruiter, like, they have to make sure they give, the right picture about the company, about us, about the culture. And once you come in, we build you in. And the funny thing is, like, once you build such a culture, and you will always have people who comes in and doesn't belong to this culture, this system will always spit them out, it will repel them out.
Mm.
So this is the nice thing. When you create a nice culture, it's not gonna, nothing is 100%, nothing is perfect in life, right? It's gonna be 60, 70%.
Mm.
If your culture is 60, 70% perfect, then you are in a good place. But the good news is, once you create this, if anyone comes in, yes, they will play for a few months or a year, and then the system will take them out, right? So
Mm.
so culture is something that you need to continuously work on. You need to continuously remind people about it, and it has to be part of you. I can't lie to people.
Yeah.
I can't, as a leader, for 1 year, 2 years. I cannot do it for 15, 16 years, right? I
Yeah.
cannot fake it. So what you need to do is really to make sure that the leaders you're hiring, they have the same culture and values that you have. Otherwise, if they are the best people in the world and they don't have this, they will end up doing what they want, and the company will
Mm.
go in a different direction that you are planning to take it.
Got interesting. And especially for listeners, who founders who are looking to hire somebody, um, g- uh, you know, they usually spend anywhere from, say, an hour or 2 hours with the person, and they need to hire somebody. What test would you conduct for a test, and for each candidate to know that,
Yeah.
they're the right fit?
Very good question. Look, I always have 3 interviews with the candidate, like 2 to 3, it
Right.
depends. Because the first time, it's like, it's a first impression. And sometimes the first impression, it's like, sometimes you are in a bad mood, like, or something happened in that day. So you need to make sure that, like, at least you see the candidate twice, and
Right.
you need to connect with them to make sure that you're taking, and you sometimes you get impressed from the beginning, and then the second interview you're not, and the opposite is true as well. So I like to see them twice, and I apologize for them if I want to see them third time. But that gives me more like a feeling that, like, 3 times or 2 times sitting with someone for an hour, like, it will give you really the right picture, the right intention of, is this guy, or like, is they are the right candidate for that position? Do they share the values that you share? It doesn't happen in an hour.
Right.
You need more, right? So always I advise to make sure you do at least 2 interviews, for especially mainly for the leadership team, right? So you need to interview them twice just
Right.
to make sure. Even the second one is like nothing technical, just like like having coffee, over a Zoom or face to face. It's okay, but just make sure. This is what I do even now, with when I mentor or when I advise companies and they want me to, like, let's say, recruit their CEO, help them recruit the CEO. Always, I have to see them 2 times
Right.
just to make sure, like I feel it right, these are the right guys. And you have to take time in recruitment, especially in leadership. Don't
Right.
rush. There is no rush. Even if you're desperate,
Mm.
better not to have that candidate than having the wrong candidate. So don't be desperate. Take your time, even if you want to do the job, even if it has to be fulfilled. Make sure you take your time with recruiting mainly your leadership team.
Got it. Got it. Super interesting. And Mohammed, I quickly want to do the top three. What's your favorite business book?
Business spoke is always about values,
Right.
like, and I think the best one who talks about this is Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
And when he
Okay.
talks about recruitment, and this is where, like, I got inspiration from, which is the values and the skills, because skills without values, it doesn't work.
Got it. Any particular book from Warren Buffett, or is it
Yeah,
uh,
it's like he intelligent investor. So
Intelligent? Yeah. Love that
yeah,
book. Yeah.
that turned out, the way I think about investments and about businesses.
Got it. We'll put that in the show notes. And if you could go back in time when you started working on BMB Group, what is the one thing you would have focused on or done anything differently?
Yeah, as I told you at the beginning,
Yeah.
is the number one thing, which is I really like really faced as it was a big challenge for me. I was very sensitive and I
Mm.
used to take things personal. This is why I always advise founders, please don't take things personal. Like I'll give you a quick funny thing that happened the first business meeting I had with a client. I
Right.
went there, he destroyed me, like, because like the way he spoke to me, and he didn't like the product. He didn't like he literally, like, he wanted to kick me out of his office.
Oh.
I was 24, and when I went out I was crying. I was like really crying, literally. And also, like, sometimes you meet investors, sometimes you meet people like mentors, and they don't give you like the things that you want to hear, and you take it personal, and it becomes so heavy on you, and this affects your decisions in your daily businesses. So for me is like, I don't take anymore anything personal. It's okay, even if you speak bad about me, even if you don't like my business, even if you don't like my character, even if you don't like my product, it's okay. That's how you see it. It doesn't mean this is true. So that's the best thing that I would take. Like, if you want to take away something from this podcast today, if a founder is hearing this, please don't be sensitive, and make sure you don't take it personal.
Yeah, I love this insight. Obviously, I'm older now. I've become better, but especially a lot of younger founders. I mean, obviously, I'm digressing from the top three, but how do you become mentally strong, and how do you have that thick skin? Especially in the last 2 years have been difficult in the Western world. But there've been a lot of firings, but how do you build that thick skin in life?
Yeah. Look, for me, is like, it depends. You need to find your source. I always say you need to find. I'm spiritual, so I'm very
Nice.
spiritual, and I was so connected to my parents. My mom and my dad. Unfortunately, they both passed away, and that
Yeah.
was always the source. Like, I've got this power from them. I've got these values from them, and it always gave me the power, to go and fight. And it gave me a purpose. I want to make, as I told you, I want to make an impact. I want to create jobs. I want to make an impact in this life. So you need to create something inside you that motivates you in the morning. Why do you wake up? Why are you doing this? Why did you find this company? What's the purpose of that company? Why you want to be successful? This is what I'm saying. It's not the money. It should not be the money. It's not like I want to make a unicorn, $1 billion company. So for me, is like, now I have exited my business and I want to continue making money. I have a certain number I want to do in my life. But like, I don't say I want to make this number. I want to help people to fulfill their potential, founders to fulfill their potential. It's not like I want to make money out of these founders. Money, it
Yeah.
will come. It's a result of good work or investing in the right people, right?
Yeah.
But like, if you focus your intentions on the right things, and you have your own source of strength and motivation, and this doesn't come easily. you really have to work on yourself spiritually, physically. You have to train hard, even physical training. You have to train like always, you need to sit down and train your mental health as well, your spiritual health. It's not only physical. You cannot
Yeah.
lose this. You cannot do like physical health and then you lose the others. So it's a work in progress that you really need to connect, to the bigger picture in the world. You need to connect your community to the community, to the people. So for me, I was connected to everyone in the employees. From if you see 1,200 employees, I know every single person.
No.
I'm emotionally connected with everyone, and that makes me happy. And anyone around any office in the world, they have all of them. They have my number. They access me anytime. My door is always open to anyone. This gives you like always when you do good in life, it gives you good things back. So for me, even with competition, even with suppliers, I always said, like, when I started the business, like, maybe I can give you this advice for it and the listeners. I have promised myself at the beginning, when I joined my co-founder, the business, I have promised myself that I'm going to be 80 years old, hopefully, and I'm going to look back and I'm not going to regret anything. So I don't want to
No.
grow on the shoulders of the people, and I don't want to do anything that will make me regret it. So I have promised myself not to change. So if you see me today, it's exactly the same character, the same person who I was like 15 years ago. Of course, I
Nice.
have through a lot, emotionally and mentally, but I'm still the same person. I
Mm.
haven't lost my way. And this is very important. It's we can have another podcast talking about that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's something that really founders has to work on their mental health, on their spiritual health, and the physical health while they're doing this to keep themselves strong and to find really a source of power that like motivate their mind every day in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, this is motivating me and I want to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I love this answer. I think you're taking the legacy of your parents
Long
forward.
answer. Sorry for that, but like, yeah, it's something that I would love always to speak about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think listeners are going to really, really like this. And as I mentioned, you've taken the legacy of your parents forward. And and the final thing is, what's your favorite online tool? For example, Gmail, Slack, Zoom.
Zoom. So,
Mm.
what we're using today, I feel it's very easy, to use, and yeah, Zoom is my favorite tool.
Got it. We'll put that in the show notes. And Mohammed, what is the best way people can reach out to you and know more about what you're doing?
Yeah, by email, it's the easiest way. So my email is Mokhashab. It's Mokhashab at hotmail.com. So I'm more than happy to receive any, or LinkedIn, Mohamad Khachab. It's by C, the family. So also you can reach me out by LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn.
Got it. We'll put that in the show notes. Mohammed, thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us. I really enjoyed
My
my
pleasure,
conversation.
David. My pleasure. Thank you so much. You've been doing an amazing job. I had the pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.